major news just a short time ago about the pandemic, and one of the most visible signs yet that the U.S. is turning the corner. The CDC now saying that vaccinated Americans no longer need to wear masks both indoors and outdoors, with just a few exceptions: buses, planes, hospitals. The CDC director, Dr. Rochelle Walensky, issuing the new guidance a short time ago saying fully vaccinated people can ditch the masks, if you will, and social distancing, whether you're outdoors or indoors. Dr. Walensky also saying the science is now here, citing something so many had asked about. If we're vaccinated, can we still give it to others? She said the evidence suggests that we don't. President Biden in the Rose Garden set to address these new guidelines, and so many of these steps have been small, but this would be a major step that we're witnessing today. Again, fully vaccinated Americans no longer need to wear their masks, whether you're indoors, outdoors, and look at the president, the vice president, no longer in their masks.
Today is a great day for America in our long battle with coronavirus. Just a few hours ago, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention and the CDC announced that they are no longer recommending that fully vaccinated people need wear masks. This recommendation holds true whether you are inside or outside. I think it's a great milestone, a great day. It's been made possible by the extraordinary success we've had in vaccinating so many Americans so quickly. To date, we've given out 250 million shots in 114 days. And we're seeing the results. Cases are down in 49 of 50 states. New York Times has reported that hospitalizations are the lowest they've been since April of 2020, over a year ago, right after the start of the pandemic. Deaths are down 80%, and also at their lowest level since April of 2020. And as the virus tragically rages in other countries, as other nations, even wealthy nations, are mired in the challenges of slow vaccine rollout and poor economic conditions, as a result, things are very different here. In less than 4 months, we've gone from 5.5% to nearly 60% of the adults in America with at least one shot in their arm. We've gone from stagnation to an economy that is growing faster than it has in nearly 40 years. We've gone from an anemic job creation to a record for job creation for a new administration. All of this is a product of prompt action to roll out the vaccine and boost our economy. As I said in my joint address to the Congress, this vaccination effort has been a historic logistical achievement for the United States of America. Over the past 114 days, our vaccination program has led the world, and that's due to the incredible hard work of so many people: the scientists and researchers, the drug companies, the National Guard, the U.S. military, FEMA, the nation's governors, doctors, nurses, pharmacists, everyone who has moved heaven and earth to get as many shots in the arms of as many Americans as possible. And it's truly been an all-hands-on-deck for the country effort. You know, some people said we couldn't do this, that it would not be until the fall that we had this many people vaccinated. That 2021 might be a lost year for our country, as 2020 was. But we proved the doubters wrong. I need to single out one more group to praise: the American people. The American people. For more than a year, you've endured so much, and so many lost jobs, so many businesses lost, so many lives upended, and so many months that our kids couldn't be in school. You couldn't see your friends or family. All the moments that mattered so much, from birthdays to weddings to graduations, all postponed. And most tragically at all, the lost lives. As the press here knows, I carry a card in my pocket. with the number of lives lost to COVID as of the close of business yesterday. 580,073 lost lives. So many empty chairs. So many times a husband or a wife lean over to touch their spouse and not there. Moms and dads, sons and daughters, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, grandparents, your neighbors, your coworkers. Having been there in other circumstances, I know it's of little solace right now, but I promise you, the day will come when the memory of the loved one you lost will bring a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye. That's when you know you're going to get through it. You will get through it, but it's a long haul. You've endured all this. When your country asked you to get vaccinated, you did. The American people stepped up. You did what I consider to be your patriotic duty. That's how we've gotten to this day. As president, I can say I'm pleased, but I'm sure the vice president agrees with me. We're not surprised. Pleased, but not surprised. Because the simple truth is this: the American people have never, ever, ever, ever let their country down. Never. This country is proving what we've known, what we all known for so long. There's nothing we are unable to do when we put our minds, our hearts, and our souls into it, and we do it together. Now, I want to be clear about what the CDC is saying and what the CDC is not saying. The CDC is saying they have concluded that fully vaccinated people are at a very, very low risk of getting COVID-19. Therefore, if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. Let me repeat, if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. But if you've not been vaccinated, or if you're getting a 2-shot vaccine and you've not gotten you only had your first shot, but not your second, or you haven't waited the full 2 weeks after your second shot, you still need to wear a mask. Look, we've gotten this far. Please protect yourself until you get to the finish line. Because as great as this announcement is today, we don't want to let up. We all know how tough this virus has been. The safest thing for the country is for everyone to get vaccinated. And getting vaccinated is easier than ever. We've worked so hard. We have 80,000 locations. 90% of you live within 5 miles of one of those locations. You can find a vaccine site near you by texting your zip code to the following number, 438829. Let me repeat. Text your zip code to 438829, and it'll get the places nearest you can go and get vaccinated now. And many places don't require an appointment. It's free. Just walk in, get the shot. Anyone 12 years or above in age is eligible. And for now, after a year of hard work and so much sacrifice, the rule is very simple. Get vaccinated or wear a mask until you do. It's vax-ed or masked. Get vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, you can be around the vaccinated or unvaccinated people. But if you're not vaccinated or not fully vaccinated, you should wear a mask for your own protection and the protection of other unvaccinated people. The choice is yours. You all made this possible. Now let's finish the work of beating this virus and getting everything back to normal. Remember, as fast as we've gone, most people under the age of 65 aren't vaccinated yet. We've opened vaccinations nationally to all adults just 4 weeks ago. It's going to take a little more time for everyone who wants to get vaccinated to get their shots. So all of us, let's be patient. Be patient with one another. You know, some may say, just feel more comfortable. Continue to wear a mask. They may feel that way. So if you're someone with a mask, you see them, please treat them with kindness and respect. We've had too much conflict, too much bitterness, too much anger, too much politicization of this issue about wearing masks. Let's put it to rest. Let's remember, we're all Americans. Let's remember that we are all in this together. If you're fully vaccinated and can take your mask off, you've earned the right to do something that Americans are known for all around the world. Greeting others with a smile, with a smile. So it's a good day for the country. We aren't done yet. We're still losing too many Americans because we still have too many unvaccinated people. We have to get to 70% of adults started on vaccinations by July the 4th. And we have to take this pandemic, tackle it, not just here, but overseas as well, to truly be safe in the long run. There's still more work ahead. But I've said many times, as tough as this pandemic has been, we will get through it. We will rebuild our economy, reclaim our lives, and get back to normal. We'll laugh again. We'll know joy again. And we'll smile again. You know, and now, see one other smile. Look at the smiles on other people's faces. Better days are ahead. I promise you. And the best days for America are still to come. I promise you that as well. Thank you. God bless you. And remember, it's never, ever, ever, ever been a good bet to bet against the American people. Thank you.
Still use their mask.
We don't enforce it. We, in fact, if you haven't been vaccinated, wear your mask for your own protection and the protection of the people who are also have not been vaccinated yet. It's not an enforcement thing. We're not going to go out and arrest people. But the fact of the matter is, I still believe the vast majority of the American people care about the safety of their neighbors and care about the safety of their families. And like I said, if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear your mask and you can shake hands. You can even give each other a hug. But if you've not been vaccinated, please wear the mask. Please wear the mask. Thank you.
Is there any update on your meeting with the Republicans, sir?
We had a very, very good meeting. It was great to be back with so many of the colleagues that I had served with in the Senate. And I am very optimistic that we can reach a reasonable agreement. But even if we don't, it's been a good faith. There's a good faith effort that's been started.
Compromise on anything other than the corporate tax?
We didn't compromise on anything. What we did was I laid out what I thought we should be doing, how it should be paid for. And my colleagues in the Senate came back and said they'll come back to me with a counteroffer of what they are prepared to do and fund and how to fund it. And then we'll talk again next week. So thank you all so very much.
And there you have it. President Biden in the Rose Garden, 4:10 p.m., well more than a year into this pandemic. And this is an historic moment as we watch the president and the vice president walk together and close to one another, not the 6 feet apart, neither wearing masks. We haven't had to wear masks outside if you're fully vaccinated, but today the big difference is you no longer, according to the CDC, need to wear that mask at all if you're fully vaccinated, both indoors and outdoors. The president calling this a great milestone, a great day for the country. He actually said we can do what Americans are known for. We can greet each other with a smile. Dr. Jen Ashton here on the desk with me. We greeted each other with a smile on the news. We've been here from the very start together, Jen. You heard the president say there, fully vaccinated people have a very low risk of getting COVID. Therefore, you no longer need to wear a mask indoors or outdoors.
Exactly, David. And it's not just about the risk to you, it's about the risk to others. So as they've learned more about transmission dynamics, that's a key word in science, how this virus spreads, how one can get it, how one can protect themselves, and also vaccination metrics. I've heard Dr. Anthony Fauci use that term as you have. That means vaccinations going up, cases, hospitalizations, and deaths going down. This is not an about face from the decision made 16 days ago. This is an evolution of their guidelines based on science.
Yes, they said take it off outdoors. Now they're saying take it off outdoors and indoors. And I want to drill down on a point you just made, because Dr. Walensky earlier today, and I know you've talked to her and Dr. Fauci in recent days, you had a sense this evolution was coming. She pointed to the science on transmissibility. So many vaccinated Americans have worried, if I'm out there with a crowd, can I be giving it to others without even knowing it? They say the risk is very low.
Right, and it's all about how you assess risk versus benefit. And remember, from the beginning of this pandemic, this virus has really taught us to be concerned with others. It's the other person's risk and health, and the transmission or risk of spreading it to someone else has been paramount. That's why the mask recommendation occurred last year, and that's why they're making the decision that we can take them off, because it's been shown that people who are vaccinated are less likely to spread it to others.
And I know one other question that a lot of people are going to have, and there are many questions out there, but this is a common one. If I'm out in a crowd or I go back to the workplace, how do I know if my friend, my colleague, just a couple desks away has not been vaccinated? And Dr. Walensky seemed to hint at that today. She said, you're not the one at risk. It's the colleague who hasn't been vaccinated. We've got to encourage them to go for it.
Absolutely. So first of all, right now, this is going to be based on the honor system, right? Whether or not people are fully vaccinated, they can remove those masks. When you look at people in crowded settings without a mask, if they are unvaccinated, the risk falls to them. That is really important here. So people can choose to take that risk. Science and medicine and public health guidance says they should not do so. But David, I want to just wrap with something that I am really struck by with Dr. Walensky. She just emailed me moments before we went on the air, and she said something that I think is so important. She said, we have to remain humble. If things change, so will our recommendations, but we remain cautiously optimistic. So people need to understand, in science, we always evaluate the data that we have, and we remain flexible to dial that back if cases start going up.
Yeah, it can change week to week. She said earlier today, unpredictable. So she set everyone up for the possibility that we'll have to reassess.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, a big milestone, right, Jen?
Absolutely.
Let's bring in Mary Bruce quickly at the White House. She's been monitoring this all, and you saw how careful the president was there, Mary. His trademark smile. He said you can even shake hands with another fully vaccinated American. But he said, let me be clear. It's only if you've had the 2 shots, you've waited the time afterwards, if you're fully vaccinated. He said if you've had 1 shot, wear the mask. And he said if you haven't had the shot, wear the mask as well. And he encouraged those Americans who have not been vaccinated to get their vaccinations. It's so much easier now without the lines and the wait times that we saw in those early weeks.
And David, we heard the president say the choice is yours. I think the bottom line here is that the White House is hoping that unvaccinated Americans, people who've been hesitant to get vaccinated, are now going to look around, see fully vaccinated Americans taking off their masks, being able to participate in this big step back to their normal lives, and that it will encourage and incentivize unvaccinated Americans to go out and get that shot. And of course, the president, this administration has been criticized recently in recent days for being overly cautious. But you heard the president come out today, tout what he sees as the successes, the steps that his administration has taken to reach this milestone today. A very happy and relieved President Biden.
Mary Bruce has been following this every step of the way right here with us. Mary, thank you. And I should point out just one other thing before we go, something else that the president said that struck a chord. He said, be patient, be kind with your fellow Americans, because even with the new guidance, it's going to be about your own comfort zone as we move forward. So when you see somebody out in the street or at the store with the mask, be kind, give them the distance that they need to work through the guidance and feel comfortable with it. And of course, you can check with your own doctor. Lots of questions coming in. I've been looking at my Twitter. We'll be asking Jen those questions on World News Tonight. And in the meantime, our coverage continues on ABC News Live, abcnews.com. We'll see you with the entire team for World News Tonight. I'm David Noor in New York. Have a good day.
This has been a special report from ABC News.